Movies are powerful. They transport us to different worlds, they make us laugh and cry, and they shape how we see the world, especially regarding gender roles. From a young age, we see men and women on screen. These images influence our understanding of gender. Think about classic fairy tales. The brave prince saves the princess. He is strong and active. She is passive and waiting. These stories reinforce traditional gender roles. Men are heroes, women are damsels. It's not just fairy tales, action movies, romantic comedies, even documentaries. Men are tough and career-driven. Women are emotional and nurturing. These portrayals can be empowering, but when stereotypes are the only options, they limit us. We start to believe men and women should act a certain way, and that's where the danger lies. Stereotypes are everywhere in movies. They are shortcuts that filmmakers use to quickly convey information about characters. But these shortcuts can be harmful, especially when they reinforce negative or limiting beliefs about gender. One common stereotype is that men are supposed to be stoic and unemotional. We see this in action movies where the hero never sheds a tear, even when facing danger. This stereotype can make it difficult for men to express their emotions openly and honestly. Women, on the other hand, are often stereotyped as overly emotional and irrational. We see this in romantic comedies where the female lead is always crying or overreacting to situations. This stereotype can make it difficult for women to be taken seriously in the workplace and in other areas of life. These are just a few examples of the many stereotypes that exist about gender in movies. It's important to be aware of these stereotypes so that we can challenge them and create a more equitable and representative media landscape. From the rugged cowboys of westerns to the suave spies of action thrillers, Hollywood has always had a specific vision of a leading man. He's typically strong, stoic, and rarely sheds a tear. He's driven, ambitious, and often puts his career before personal relationships. While there's nothing inherently wrong with these qualities, the problem arises when they become the only template for masculinity on screen. This narrow portrayal of manhood can put pressure on men to live up to unrealistic expectations. It can make them feel inadequate for expressing vulnerability or pursuing careers that are considered feminine. It also reinforces the idea that men are defined by their physical strength and professional success, neglecting other important aspects of their being. Think about iconic action heroes like John Rambo or James Bond. They embody this stoic masculinity, rarely showing weakness or fear. While entertaining, these portrayals can contribute to a culture where men feel they can't express their emotions freely or seek help when they need it. On the flip side, the portrayal of women in film often falls into two categories: the damsel in distress or the femme fatale. The damsel is helpless, waiting for a man to rescue her. The femme fatale is alluring and dangerous, often using her sexuality to manipulate men. While these archetypes can be entertaining on screen, they present a limited and often sexist view of womanhood. The damsel trope reinforces the idea that women are weak and incapable of saving themselves. It perpetuates a narrative where their worth is tied to their relationship with a man. The femme fatale, while seemingly powerful, is often punished for her ambition and independence. She is portrayed as a threat to the male order and ultimately meets a tragic end. This dichotomy leaves little room for complex, well-rounded female characters. It sends a message to young girls that they are either meant to be saved by a man or feared for their ambition. Section 5. Beyond the binary, challenging traditional roles. Thankfully, the landscape of filmmaking is changing. We are seeing more and more movies that challenge traditional gender roles and offer more nuanced portrayals of men and women. These films break free from the binary and explore the full spectrum of human experience, regardless of gender. Movies like Moonlight and Lady Bird have captivated audiences with their honest and relatable portrayals of men and women grappling with identity, relationships, and societal expectations. These films show us that strength and vulnerability are not exclusive to any one gender. Furthermore, the rise of LGBTQ+ cinema has been instrumental in expanding the conversation around gender roles. Movies like Call Me By Your Name and Portrait of a Lady on Fire challenge heteronormative narratives and provide much-needed representation for queer voices. This shift towards more diverse and inclusive storytelling is crucial for creating a world where people feel seen and understood for who they truly are, regardless of their gender identity. Section 6. When real life inspires real life. It's undeniable. Movies have the power to influence our thoughts, beliefs, and even our behavior. When we see the same narratives repeated on screen, it can reinforce existing stereotypes and biases in our own lives. This can manifest in subtle ways, like how we perceive ourselves and others, or more overtly, like the choices we make in our relationships and careers. For example, young boys who grow up watching action movies might feel pressured to suppress their emotions or engage in risky behavior to prove their masculinity. Similarly, young girls constantly exposed to the damsel in distress trope might internalize the belief that they are helpless without a man's protection. While it's important to acknowledge the potential negative influence of media, it's equally important to remember that we are not passive consumers. We have the power to critically analyze what we watch and challenge harmful representations. Section 7. A critical lens on gender and media. Developing media literacy is crucial in today's world. It's about teaching ourselves and our children to engage with movies and other forms of media with a critical eye. This means questioning stereotypes, identifying biases, and looking for diverse representations. When watching a movie, ask yourself, how are male and female characters portrayed? What stereotypes are being reinforced? Whose stories are being told? And whose voices are missing? These questions can help us become more aware of the messages being conveyed and make informed choices about the media we consume. Section 8. The power of storytelling, shaping perspectives. The good news is that movies can also be a powerful tool for social change. When we see diverse and inclusive stories on screen, it can challenge our biases, broaden our understanding of the world, and inspire us to create a more just and equitable society. Filmmakers, writers, and producers have a responsibility to tell stories that reflect the richness and complexity of human experience. This means representing people of all genders, races, sexual orientations, and abilities in authentic and meaningful ways. By supporting films that promote diversity and inclusion, we can help shift the narrative and create a media landscape that celebrates the beauty of our differences. Section 9. A call to action, rewriting the script. It's time to rewrite the script on gender roles in movies. We need more stories that challenge stereotypes, celebrate diversity, and show the full spectrum of what it means to be human. This requires a collective effort from filmmakers, audiences, and everyone in between. As viewers, we can support movies that align with our values. We can choose to watch films that portray men and women in complex and nuanced ways. We can also use our voices to speak out against harmful stereotypes and demand better representation in the media we consume. By being mindful of the messages we consume and promoting positive change, we can help create a world where everyone, regardless of gender, feels seen, heard, and empowered to reach their full potential.